This podcast was made for Te Reo Irirangi o Aotearoa, nā te māngai pāho I tautoko. Nau mai anō ki tēnei kōnai ipurangi, the 5-part Te Pahi podcast, the Rangatira, the King and the Survivors. Ko Eugene Bingham tōku ingoa. In episode 3, we tracked down newspaper reports of the exact court case that Te Pahi witnessed in Poihākina in early 1806. Engari, whai muri I te whakawā, whai muri I te whiu whakamate, I ahatia rā. After the death sentence and Te Pahi's protest to Governor King, what happened? Were the 4 men who stole pork actually spared? Ko wāhanga tua whā tēnei, episode 4, Nā Mōrehu, the Survivors. Okay, so what are the rules?
So first things first,
Yep.
gloves.
Okay,
There you go.
and that's to protect the pages?
the original records. So
Yeah. I'm back in Ahitereiria at the State Archives of New South Wales. E kimi ana au I ngā tai pito atu mō te kehi. I'm searching for more details about the court case. He rete tēnei wāhi ki tētahi whare puka puka. It's like a giant library.
now we've got these
That's amazing.
little weights here.
Ko Bethany Schiffer tērā. Bethany has located for us, somewhere in the 89 linear kilometres of records on these shelves, the documents from the trial Te Pahi saw. So actually sort of, is it glued into those pages or something? Or?
Yeah, so this was done probably around the 1950s, and the idea would have been to...
Arā, ānei nā ingoa o nā mauhere. Here are the names of the condemned men. Ko Thomas Baker, rātou ko John Roberts, ko Thomas England, ko James Keating anō hoki. Tēnā koutou. There's a lot of new information here too, so I'll pass that on to Deb and Fran, our family history experts. But also, ka tuku au I ngā pepa kōti ki te ahurangi hītori kia David Roberts. I've asked Professor Roberts to help us again by interpreting these documents.
Okay, these are the minutes of proceedings of the Court of Criminal Jurisdiction for 1806. Essentially, the judge advocate makes a summary of the case to keep a track of the decisions and adjudications that he's made. And this is the one pertaining to our particular case, which is quite remarkable. So it starts off with statements from the witnesses, and then each of the defendants is called up to give some statement in their defence. For example, James Keating simply denies the charge. I didn't do it. He's got no other defence. He's got nothing.
Nō reira, I ai ki ngā kai whakaatu, according to the witnesses, I ahatia rā. Here's what the documents tell us. I te hānuere o te tau ko tahi mano warurau e ono, January 1806 in Port Dalrymple, in what's now called Tasmania. A witness looks towards the food store. Pātata ana ki te tatau, near the door. He tangata, ko James Keating tēnei. Keating is a cooper, a maker and fixer of barrels, and the witness sees him stooping over a barrel. Next to Keating is another man, John Roberts. The witness sees Keating take pork, miti poaka, from the barrel, then the pork goes into Roberts' bag. Tāna kete. One other man is there, called Thomas England tōna ingoa. He's a soldier, and he's meant to be guarding the stores. But according to the witness, he doesn't stop Roberts and Keating. The witness sees Roberts take the bag to Keating's house, and then another soldier, called Thomas Baker tēnei, leaves the house with te kete or miti poaka. That's it. That's the crime. Ka mauheretia a Keating, rātou ko Roberts, ko England, ko Baker. All 4 men are arrested and taken to Poihākina. E mōhio kē ana tātou ki te mea e whai ake. We all know what happens next. 4 guilty verdicts in Poihākina, 4 death sentences, and a plea for mercy from Te Pahi. Hoi anō, I ahatia rā I muri iho. So what happened after that? Te Pahi was desperate to save these men's lives. Do you know what actually happened?
We know that he had partial success. The Governor King, as the royal authority, has the power to show mercy and reduce their sentences. And so 2 of the men are reprieved on condition that they are taken out of the army and they become convicts.
Ko Thomas Baker, rāua ko John Roberts era. But what about the other 2? Ko Thomas England, rāua ko James Keating.
Despite the protestations, 2 of the men are ordered to be executed, and that is the cooper Keating, who undoes the barrels, and the sentry Thomas England, who allows the crime to happen. They send them both back to Van Diemen's Land. Thomas England is executed at Port Dalrymple in front of the soldiers and convicts from that settlement. The convict cooper by the name of Keating, he goes back to Hobart and is executed there.
Au e te mamai, au e te pauri. Ka ora ha hoki. This new information is hard to hear. Kua whakamatea nā tāne e rua. 2 men were put to death. And yet, nā Te Pahi, I whakaora e tahi atu e rua. Te Pahi saved 2 others, Thomas Baker and John Roberts. Meanwhile, I've had an update from our family history experts, Ngā Mātanga Hituri Whānau. Deb Morris tells me they've located records for Thomas Baker dating to 1811, 5 years after the trial. And for John Roberts, they found even more.
He went on to serve about 7 years after the trial, and after that, he was granted his freedom. He returned to the United Kingdom in 1821, and he was formally discharged from the military.
Hoi anō, e rapu tonu ana a Deb rāua ko Fran I ngā uri o Aua Tāne. The search for the descendants of those men isn't over yet. We will never know if Te Pahi hears about the fate of those men after his return to Aotearoa, I muri I tōna hōkina ki Aotearoa. For a time in Pewhairangi, I tino pai ngā mahi hokohoko, I wainga I tōna hapū me ngā manuhiri Pākehā. Trade between Te Pahi's people and the European visitors goes well. Engari, I te hekinga o te wā, ka rere ke te whanaungatanga. The relationship starts to change, as Dame Anne Salmond explains.
There was a lot of drinking. A lot of the guys that came ashore were drunk, very drunk. Abuse of women. People often just went ashore and stole crops out of gardens, and the local rangatira had to try and control it because there were no European authorities to deal with the Europeans. And also when people went on board ships, rangatira in particular, they were often treated in ways which were extraordinarily offensive. They might be flogged, they might be lashed up to masts, they might be insulted. And in that era, if your mana was trampled on and your tapu was desecrated, as a rangatira, it's not just your life force that was at risk, it was that of your people.
Koenei hoki te wā, I pā ai ētahi atu tuāhua kino. There were other troubles too, including a major disease outbreak, ētahi māuiwi in Whangaroa, tata ki Pewhairangi.
They had developed some kind of terrible contagious illness.
Ko Professor Deirdre Brown tēnei.
That led to the deaths of several people, including their own rangatira. So they were becoming increasingly wary about the European presence.
Koenei te horopaki. This is the context for what happened next. After the arrival of a ship, the Boyd, ki Whangaroa, I te tau ko tahi mano warurau maiwa, 1809.
So it's hard to work out exactly what happened. What we do know was that the Boyd came into Whangaroa.
It has the son of one of the Whangaroa rangatira on board.
During the passage, he'd been really badly treated.
He has been badly abused.
This young chief told his people what had happened. They were infuriated.
The rangatira there felt that it was their duty to create equivalence, and that meant enacting utu.
Utu is not about revenge exactly, it's about balance. So if you attack the mana and the tapu of a rangatira, that has to be counterweighted.
So a shore party was attracted off the Boyd. They were attacked.
It had a crew, but it also had passengers on board. And they killed nearly everybody on board and plundered the ship and burnt it.
there was a huge explosion of gunpowder and the whole ship went up.
It was a situation that was prime for exploitation.
Often massacres come out of confluences of confusing times, lots of misunderstandings, what to do next, and unfortunately the consequences were for my people.
Koira te āhuatanga I whai ake, he rapu utu, that's what happened next. Vengeful, unjust actions. A few months later, a fleet of ships arrived in the bay, with those on board determined to exact revenge for the Boyd incident. And they had Te Pahi in their sights, even though he had nothing to do with it. In fact, later it would emerge he had tried to help the survivors. But as the party of armed attackers set off in longboats towards his island Pa early one morning, truth was less important than what they wrongly believed was justice.
Te Pahi was blamed, and so he became a target. His settlement was attacked, his people were killed and shot in the water. He was shot.
Some of those stories are tapu, so they're not to be talked about, but we do know that Te Pahi was injured and that he died later on.
Kua tūwhera te tau o te pō. Kua hinga te rangatira. Kua mate a Te Pahi.
This is somebody that had put up with so much from Europeans already. You know, he'd had people stealing and insulting, and he tried to remain somebody who was on good terms with Europeans despite all of that. And out of malice, he was made the malefactor in the Boyd killings, and he was destroyed. And that must have been an awful lesson for a lot of people. You know, can you actually trust these people? If you treat them well, will they treat you with the worst possible undeserved punishment?
Ko whati, te rākau, o te oranga, mo te iwi Māori.
Aye, as Herbert Hari says, something was broken forever that day.
Mai taua āhuaranga, ko mate te rito o te harakeke. Losing Te Pahi in that way was a dream smasher. He was so pivotal. And for Ngāti Torihina, that was a first domino in a series of dominoes.
The blame for Te Pahi for the Boyd may have come from different sources. There has been suggestions that there was confusion over the name of Te Puhi, who was a Whangaroa chief, and Te Pahi, who was from Rangihawa.
But from her research of documents me nā kōrero tuku iho, the stories passed down in her hapu, Deirdre has found other theories about who carried out the attack.
For my people, Ngāti Rua, it has always been seen as a well-planned attack. They talk about redcoats in the party that had attacked them. That would suggest soldiers. That would suggest a military aspect to this. From this time, we start seeing these stories that Māori aren't to be trusted as a consequence of the Boyd, but also Te Pahi as well. And that's grossly unfair.
After the murder of Te Pahi and his people, kua ngaro nā taonga nōna, Te Pahi's treasures were lost. Ko te whare, the prefabricated Pākehā house, he mea kai nā te ahi, burnt. Ko te mētera nā Kāwana King I Hoatu, the medal from Philip Gidley King, ngaro noa ana, disappeared. But then, I te tau 2014, in 2014,
I was contacted by my whanaunga Hurihari one day who said, oh, there's a medal for sale at Sotheby's in Sydney and it's associated with Te Pahi. What do you know about it? And I said, Hugh, I know so much about this medal. I know so much.
I te mutunga iho, whai muri I ētahi tohe nui, ka whakahokia te mētera ki Aotearoa. After many twists and turns and tussles, Te Pahi's medal returned home.
It felt like our tupuna had come back to us. You know, the medal speaks to a time of generosity and manaakitanga between people. In many ways, that balances off some of the mamae associated with the attack on Te Pahi and his people. It's a positive consequence of this relationship with Europeans.
As Deirdre said, kei te pū o te whakahokinga o te metera ko matua hurihare. He whanaunga, hurihare, was central to the return of that medal. I mua i tēnei kaupapa, I kōrero au kia matua hiu, kia tonua ai tāna tautoko, I whai kia ui hoki aia. Over the years, I'd been talking to Matua Hugh about this kaupapa to seek his support and about interviewing him. Hoi anō, I te wā o Matariki, ka hinga a Matua Hugh. Moi mai rā e te rangatira, moi mai rā. I'd spoken with Matua Hugh about the idea of searching for the descendants of the prisoners. Ka kimi I ngā uri o ngā mauhere. Ka kōrero hoki au ki a Herb Rihare, rātou ko te Hurihanga Rihare, ko Deirdre anō mō tēnei moimoi ā. I spoke to Herb, to Hurihanga and Deirdre about this dream also.
Peke ana te ngāka ki te rongo I taua kaupapa e hoa.
Herb's heart leaps, ka peke, at the idea of being able to hongi with the uri of ngā mauhere, those prisoners who were embraced by Te Pahi.
He hono re mamātau, ngā uri o Ngāti Torehina, ki te hongi I ngā uri o ngā tāngata here o te rawa, ki te kōrero ki a rātou.
E hihe nau kia tūtaki nei ngā iwi nei. I'd love to meet them.
Ko te hurihanga tēnei.
E hihe nau kia rongo kōrero, a rātou kōrero e pāna ki tā rātou nei tupuna. He nau ke kite ake I roto te titiro kanohi ki te kanohi. Kia kite ake nei I roto I a rātou. You know, it's one of those things to desire to see face to face and to try and see what our tupuna saw. He saw purpose. Mata kite, down the generations. He's looking at a people who will produce something wonderful. Although to the people at the time, I taua wā, the judges, they saw a person worthy of death. But to our tupuna, he saw purpose. He saw a people whose generations will bring an impact.
I think it would be amazing to connect with those people. That an ancestor of mine might have affected change in a whakapapa of people overseas as well. We've talked about, the number of people that died in 1810, but also Te Pahi may have been someone who was able to save whakapapa too. It would be an honour and a privilege to meet these descendants.
Ka taia rānei e tātou. So can this meeting happen? I've received a message from Deb Morris, te mātanga hitori whānau. Remember, she's been tracing the lives of the men saved by Te Pahi. Ko nā tāne e rua I whakaora e Te Pahi. Ko Thomas Baker, rāua ko John Roberts. He aha nā kōrero whakahou. What new information does she have? And where will it lead?
There is somewhat frustratingly quite a lot about professional soldiers like musters and payrolls, but once they are discharged, often not very much at all.
He just sounds like an amazing man, doesn't he? Yeah, thoughtful, compassionate, I would say. That's a word. Better than the British.
That was Wāhanga Tuawha, episode 4 of the 5-part Te Pahi podcast, written and presented by me, Eugene Bingham of Te Pūrongo Productions. Te Pahi's haerenga is told in a 2-part RNZ video documentary, Te Pahi, the Rangatira, the King and the Survivors. Links are in the show notes. Writing and podcast editing by Adam Dudding, mixing by Andrew McDowell of DigiCake. Stephanie Huriana Fong is the Pōreo Māori. Annabelle Lee Mather and Mihi Narangi Forbes are the executive producers. And Yana Tanahu Owen is the RNZ Commissioner Māori. Produced for RNZ by Aotearoa Media Collective with funding from Te Māngai Pāho.